We're going to deal with what we call time frames, and time frames are very essential ingredients in the path of everything we do. It's like the world we live in is literally bounded by time. Like, you wake up in the morning, let's say at 6 a.m., you're prepared for work, you clock in, you start work, and you get paid. So literally, time becomes more or less like a metric of measuring your productivity, your efficiency, and we can't literally live life without considering time. It's like human beings, we are bounded by the periphery of time. It's like our life revolves around time. Life in itself is bounded by time, since we live in a body. Our bodies has a limited time. So in the area of productivity, in terms of determining our wages, we measure it by time. And even if you plant a seed, it takes a certain period of time for it to germinate. So you can track, you can measure the seed germination period in a certain time. So time now becomes more or less like a part of a human life. There says time is money, it means money is time. It's like everything you do is pegged around time. When you go for meetings, it starts maybe around 5:30. Let's say it finishes around, let's say, 7:30. So it's like a 2 hours time of a 2 hours meeting time. So we cannot talk about life without including time. Since our life, or since our body has a limited amount of time, we cannot negate our trading without emphasizing on time. So time frames now becomes more or less like a measurement of your environment. And yes, this is a common terminology crypto phase normally uses, like trying to have an overview of your environment, in the sense that we need to determine our surroundings. Our surroundings is more or less like our assets that we are trying to trade. We need to know the direction, but we cannot determine the direction just by just looking at the chart or the script. We have to determine the direction by using time as a metric of measuring the direction. Like I said, life revolves around time. Our productivity revolves around time. A seed germination revolves around time. Going to mating, waking up. Think through it. Like whatever you do in life, it revolves around a time. When you go to sleep, let's say 10 p.m., you wake up around 4 a.m. That's time. So you measure your sleep hours by time. But again, time can literally be deduced into different units. We have different units of time. Measuring time is, we have the daily, we have the hourly, we have the weekly, and we have the minutes and the seconds. And these are all part of trading. So a critical look on this chart, you can realize that we have time frames over here at the very top. It means we are trying to understand the direction in a certain period of time. Make no mistake, you do have to realize that every candlestick you see right now here, every candlestick you see right now here, is a measurement of a time. You understand? This whole candle is a measurement of a time. So if I'm on a 4 hour time frame, means this whole candlestick is a 4 hour period. And how do I track the very movement of this candlestick? And this is how market CFD works. Every oscillator you see here right now, it moves in a certain period of time. This oscillator here, this wave here you see right now, the VWAP, it moves in a period of time. So if you are trying to assess or have an overview of your environment, you have to know the direction of the VWAP. But how do we know the direction of the VWAP or the oscillator? It moves. How does it move? In every time frame. So if I'm on a 4 hour time frame, which I am right now, it means this oscillator or this wave is moving for every 4 hours. And how do I track it? And we are going to do the tracking here. So a critical look on this VWAP right now, you can realize that we have boxes. We have vertical lines, vertical lines here, vertical lines, vertical lines, all these boxes, and we have horizontal lines dividing the boxes. If I'm on a 4 hour time frame, I want you to look at some here. Let me draw my vertical line. This is my vertical line. This is on the 1st of 23rd of January 000, means 12 a.m. here. When I move my cursor to the right, it moves 4 hours. You understand? It means my oscillator has moved 4 hours. You understand? For every given 4 hours, my wave moves. You understand? So when I go to the next cursor, when I move my next cursor to the right, I go it's 8 a.m. Sorry. Then I go another one, it's 12 noon. And I go another one, it's 2 o'clock. And I go another one, it's 8 o'clock. And I go another one, then it's another 12 o'clock. In other words, we've moved 4 hours of each cursor I move is 4 hours cursor movement, and 4 times 6 is 24 for the whole given box. This whole given box, you can realize that 6 movement means 24 hours. So this whole period of movement was just for this day, or just for this day. This day, you could see that it moved just for this day. So how do I determine my surroundings? I try to determine my surroundings literally by navigating from the from the higher time frames to the lower time frames to determine the overall direction. Like I said, time is the basic unit of measurement of everything in life. So we cannot talk about trading without including time. Time is more or less like an essential ingredient of life. If we are measuring the germination of our seed through time, let's check the direction of our oscillators through time. That's the whole concept of time. It's like if you are trying to see or trying to determine my longevity on earth through my time of spent on earth, then how do I determine the direction of an oscillator? It has to be pegged around time. So time now becomes more or less like your metric. So if I can determine movement on this 4 hour time frame, then let's go to the next, let's say oscillator, sorry, the next time frame, and see how it works. So the next time frame is the 3 hour time frame. It means the movement has expanded. But this time I'm not going to spend 6 cursor movement. I'm going to spend much more than that, because 3 times 8 is 24, meaning for 3 hour time frame I need to move my cursor twice, or sorry, I need to move my cursor 8 times to form a full day. So this is the first one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, meaning I've spent 8 cursor movement, and I can represent the movement on the oscillators. The oscillators moved in that given period of 8 times. So overall, if you want to know the overall direction of how time frames work, this is how I will determine the overall direction. So if I'm on my 4 hour time frame or my daily time frame and I want to see the overall direction, let me close, let me remove the drawings. Okay, all right, cool. And I'm on the overall direction of the oscillator. If I want to see the overall direction of the oscillator, I have to first of all set my horizontal, sorry, my vertical line here, peg it around the current oscillator movement or the current candlestick, because every candlestick is a representation of a time frame, like I said earlier on. So we are on the daily time frame, and make no mistake, for a 4 hour time frame to form a daily time frame, it has to move six cursor movements. But this whole daily time frame is also a representation of a 6 candlesticks. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm on a 4 hour time frame, it means I will form 6 candlesticks to form a given daily time frame. But if I'm on daily time frame, it means just whole one full candlestick is just a single day. So if this is one day, there's another 2 days, this is another 3 days, another 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. So this is a whole full week. This whole candlestick 7 weeks is a whole full week of price action movement, and the price action movement looks bearish again. So it's the big difference between a one daily or a daily time frame candlestick versus an hourly time frame candlestick. If it takes 6 candlesticks to form a daily time frame, sorry, a daily candlestick on a 4 hour time frame, then it means there is a difference between the movement here. So if you want to determine the overall movement of price, let's now see how price move in every time frame. So first of all, you set your vertical line right in front of the daily time frame. Like I said, if you want to determine the overall direction, we have to start from the higher time frames first. The higher time frames are most essential parts. It's like these are your way of determining the overall direction. The higher time frames can also be called the environmental time frame. So when we set the 4 hour time, sorry, the vertical line right in front of the oscillator, that is the very precise current candlestick. Let's see how it moves, and let's see how it moves on the 4 hour time frame. So we go back to the 4 hour. Then we realize the oscillator has moved. In other words, it has moved 4 hours. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has moved more than 5 times, and it's left with another 4 hours for it to form another candle here. So you can realize that we used to be here, but now it seems we came down here and went up here. So we are now trying to determine the overall direction. So we're now on the 4 hour time frame. We seems to be in the bullish territories. Like I said, we are trying to determine direction. We are trying to determine direction. So let's go to the 3 hour. On the 3 hour, well, in the 3 hour, it's not really that different because it's just an hourly late than the 4 hour time frame. So it's like on the 3 hour there is in other words, let me rephrase this thing. So the lower the time frame, the higher the movement. So it means if I need, let's say, how many candlesticks do I need for a daily time frame on a 3 hour time frame? A daily time frame on a 3 hour time frame means I need 8 cursor movements. So on a 3 hour time frame, 3 times 8 is 24. On a 4 hour time frame, 4 times 6 is 24. So the 6 is a representation of the movement. It means the cursor moves 6 times in a given day. Understand? And on a 3 hour time frame, it moves 8 times in that given day. So the higher the time frame, the lower the movement. The lower the time frame, the higher the movement. You understand? So we are trying to determine direction. So on a 3 hour, we are still looking bullish. We are still in the positive territories. We look so bullish. But again, is it enough? Like I said earlier on in the previous videos, is it enough for you to base your entire trading decisions on just 2 time frames? Let's go to the next time frame and see how it works. So on the 2 hour time frame, we realize that we still heading here. So VWAP seems to be in the positives. It seems to be in the positive still. It's like, we're still hanging. It's still hanging. We've not seen a major movement yet. So let's go to the 1 hour and see how the 1 hour reacts. Again, like I said, and the 1 hour we see a slight bend, a slight bend, a slight bend. Again, this is direction. We are trying to determine direction. We are trying to determine direction. So in the 1 hour, it seems we are heading back into the negative territory. So let us see the 45 minutes and see how it works. On the 45, it looks to see if we try. Let me remove the drawings and see how it looks. And let's just see if we are trying to calm down, but again, we kind of plateaued a little bit here. Price seems to be in the positives a little bit, but again, there is not enough strength from the VWAP. Maybe it could drop on the 45 minutes. So let's go to the 30. On the 30 minutes, it still touches the zero line and it somersaults back. So there is still hope. Again, we have survived more than 3 time frames or 4 time frames in the positive, so it's like a confirmation of the positives. We have enough time frame telling us that we are in the positive. And again, on the 50 minutes, we realized that we headed back into the zero line. Sorry, we headed back into the negative territories, but again, we bounced back upward. So like I said, this is the overall direction. Now you can conclude by saying when you check your time frames, different time frame, realize that when we check the 4 hour, we are bullish. We check the 3 hour, we are bullish. We are still in a positive, sorry. We check the 2 hour, we are still in the positives. We check the 30 minutes, we're in the positives. The 45, we're in the positive. I think the 50 minutes showed us how we entered the negative, but again, we resurrected back into the positive. So you could realize that our overall direction looks like we are majorly in the positives than in the negatives. So this is a time to long, and you can realize that Bitcoin seems to be heading upward again. This is one fragment of data of an oscillator. This is just a VWAP illustration. If you have multiple oscillators again confirming towards the same direction, then it means you've probably determined your direction, overall direction. Like I said, this video is dedicated towards finding direction and how time frame works and how trading rule works and how oscillators work in accordance with time frames. And overall, I think trading with market cipher is essentially the simplified way of trading, because trading has always been directional, never hasn't been spot or signals and indicators. Trading goes way beyond signals or road signs is like a Google map, and you need to understand the direction first. And how do you determine direction with a script? Market Cipher gives you the direction. So on the next video, I might be touching the psychology of probably determining direction with all the varieties of different oscillators, DBSIs, trying to increase our biases with different varieties of oscillators or waves to justify why we are longing or justify why we are shorting, because this is just a fragment. Like I said, this is just a fragment of data, and even though this was a fragment of data, it still confirmed that we are in a positives. But again, if you want to increase your biases, you need different varieties of oscillators or different varieties of waves saying different things, because all these waves has different functional abilities. Like I said earlier on, it has different meanings and implication on price, and these are all direct influential oscillators or waves, and price responds differently. But if we can understand the overall direction, we don't really care about, let's say, if it's momentum or the state, or we know their functions are different. But if you can understand the overall direction, then we have understood trading with market cipher. Like I said, trading with market cipher is a simplified trading, and you don't really need to be a rocket scientist. You have to just understand how the script works, and you need time. And I think I really want to take much of your time. I really want to keep it simple and short. This video seems to be a little bit longer because I have to spend enough time to explain. But again, it's just a simplified way of understanding stuff or understanding the script of market cipher. And I probably have to leave you guys here and have a good time. Good time. Peace.